Good evening, everyone. This is James Rodney Lamb. How y'all doing out there tonight? Everything is all good. Just want to say that I did my new Zoom podcast interview with my friends Earl and Cheryl, which was part two of the Herb Rooney legacy. It went pretty well. But towards the end of the interview, I was about to do my wonderful tribute to two great legends who had passed away last week. I mean, almost a week apart, which was the late great Jim Brown and Tina Turner. But unfortunately, by the time I was about to pay tribute to them, our Zoom had abruptly been cut off. But the good news is I decided to do my own video tribute to Jim Brown and Tina Turner. So first off, I'm going to start off with the late great Jim Brown, who had single-handedly changed the face of football and was one of the greatest football players of all time, as well as one of the greatest running backs ever to dominate the football field, and as well as one of the greatest football players ever to play the game. He was much more than an athlete. He was an actor, a civil rights activist, and a mentor to the youth as far as gang violence. When he did civil rights, when he was involved in civil rights, he was a big supporter of Muhammad Ali, along with his other friends, Bill Russell and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who had supported Muhammad Ali on his decision on his refusal to go to fight in the Vietnam War, which was a very powerful statement back then. Jim stood up for what he had believed in, and he had stood up for his people. And after he had retired from football, he had gotten to acting, and he had appeared in more than 30 movies, such as The Dirty Dozen, 100 Rifles, Three the Hard Way, Take a Hard Ride, Original Gangsters, The Split, and so many more. Aside from acting and the football, he had also had an ear for musical talent, and he was smart enough to recognize talent whenever he saw it. And actually, he had discovered two groups. One was the Friends of Distinction, who was best known for their classic hits Grazing in the Grass, Going in Circles, and Love or Let Me Be Lonely. Jessica Cleaves, who was one of the members of the Friends of Distinction, had actually left the Friends of Distinction to join another groundbreaking group and band, which was Earth, Wind & Fire. Earth, Wind & Fire was actually discovered by Jim Brown. A lot of people don't know that, and the reason I say that is because at the time, Jim was one of the co-owners of a management company. And at the time, Jessica Cleaves, who was also married to Maurice White of Earth, Wind & Fire, because at the time, they had wanted a girl in the group prior to Philip Bailey even coming into the group when he had first joined the group. Well, and you know what they say, and the rest was musical history. And basically, Jim had actually helped Earth, Wind & Fire got gigs around town, which was Los Angeles, and then some. Jim, you have once again had changed the face of football. There will never be another football player like you. Rest in peace. Job well done, my brother. And the other one who had passed away just a few days ago was the amazing Tina Turner, who was one of the most electrifying singers and entertainers in music history. And boy, let me tell you, she was simply the best and better than all the rest. And see, if it hadn't been for Ike Turner, who had actually helped pioneer rock and roll when it was just beginning, even before Little Richard, Fats Domino, Chuck Berry, and all the other rock and roll greats after them. If it wasn't for Tina Turner, then Tina wouldn't have got to where she was. And she wouldn't have been the superstar that she really was. And Tina has done it all. Performed in concerts and went all over the world. And her songs were widely known all over the world as well. And Tina, you will never be forgotten. At least you are now rolling on the river in heaven. So thank you, Tina, for all you've done for music and for the pop culture. Again, thank you, Jim and Tina. Peace. There'll never be another one like y'all. Everybody have a good night. Peace and love.